Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Lipkowitz. I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams Capital Properties in Bethesda, Maryland. I specialize in both residential and equestrian properties, and today I want to talk about the weather in Maryland. Today is the first day of fall, so that's where we'll start this video. It is 95 degrees outside, so our average temperature in September is about 80 degrees, and we do tend to see kind of a false fall in early to mid-September where it really cools off after August for a week or so, and then it gets very hot again before the temperatures finally even out in late September, early October. Our average high in October is about 68 degrees, and then we drop to 58 degrees in November. Now, we don't tend to have too much precipitation in the fall. We average probably around 3.5 inches in the fall, although I will say there have been years where it's been pretty rainy. About a year ago, we had rain constantly. It started raining in March and it didn't stop raining until this March, and it was really, really miserable. But for the most part, fall is really nice here. Most residents find that fall is their favorite season in Maryland. If you don't like wintertime, I have some good news for you. Winter in Maryland is very mild. We don't tend to see highs below the low to mid 40s. I think January is our coldest month with an average high of about 42 degrees. And we also don't get a lot of snow. Now, every 5-10 years we will get a pretty big snowstorm, but on the whole, in the wintertime, we do see some precipitation, maybe a little bit of ice and sleet, maybe some dustings here or there. And again, every so often we do get snowstorms. We do have winters where we have more snow, but our precipitation really pretty much stays in the 2 to 3 inch range even throughout the winter. And it really isn't uncommon through December here, and even sometimes I think a year or so ago we had a day in January where it's 70 degrees. So the winters here are pretty mild and temperate. There is a bit of a rumor that Marylanders don't know how to drive in the snow, and as somebody who went to school in the Midwest, I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, I can confirm this. Now, again, we don't get all that much snow. Our drivers don't deal with it all that often, and I just find that the counties in the state don't necessarily maintain the roads when we do get snow the same way that they do in states that see a lot more snow than us. Now, springtime is our allergy season, and most Maryland residents struggle with allergies, at least to some degree. Now, Maryland isn't the worst place to live if you have allergies, but it's certainly not the best either, so you do just need to be prepared for that. Otherwise, our spring tends to be pretty nice. You're looking at average temperatures in the mid-50s in March, in the mid-60s in April, and then mid-70s in May. And by June, it starts to get pretty hot here with averages in the 80s. We do tend to have some pretty gnarly storms in the late spring, but on the whole, spring is pretty nice and pretty consistent here. We don't tend to see snow in the springtime. It does occasionally happen where we'll have flurries in March or April, and very, very rarely we'll have a storm in March or April that is significant. I'm not even sure I can remember the last time that happened. So, you know, on the whole, things warm up here pretty quick. We've got a very mild winter, and then it heats up pretty quickly in the spring. The weather in Maryland tends to be pretty temperate. I think summer is really the one exception to that rule. Our summers are brutal. It's very hot, it's very humid. In June, you're already in the 80s, and in July and August, you're in the upper 80s on average, but it is pretty common here to have temperatures in the 90s and even over 100 degrees. July is the month we tend to see the most precipitation in Maryland. We tend to get about 4.5 inches of rain in July, and a lot of that is just from storms rolling through. Again, our summers are not super rainy here, and I think on average we see about 111 days of precipitation in Maryland. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Sarah Lipkowitz, and I'm a real estate agent with Keller Williams Capital Properties in Bethesda, Maryland. I specialize in both residential and equestrian properties.